Over the past 40 years, psychology has really succeeded in communicating the importance of confidence in everyday life. It's at the forefront of how a lot of people think about themselves and their lives. And I think that we've done an enormous amount of damage as a result. In this video, I'll talk about how. I'm Randy Patterson, author of The Assertiveness Workbook and How to Be Miserable. And this is a channel with videos on psychological topics. If you like this kind of thing, click subscribe below. So, what is confidence exactly? Merriam-Webster defines it as a feeling or consciousness of one's powers, or a faith or belief that one will act in a right, proper, or effective way. It's also defined as the quality or state of being certain. Now that's confidence as a noun. As an adjective, there's another definition of relating to or adept at swindling by false promises, as in a confidence game or a confidence man, a con job. False promises. Yeah, our culture has been very focused on that first definition, the deep gut level conviction that you have the resources to accomplish something or survive something, or that what we do will be the right thing. Carl Jung talked about the shadow, the dark side of a person, a movement, or a concept. Confidence has a dark side. As a matter of fact, it has two. One of them is this idea of false confidence. Maybe someone's conviction that they're doing the right or best thing isn't entirely valid. In recent years, on the political spectrum, we've seen people exhibiting confidence in their own judgment that we might think was, well, inappropriately optimistic. There's a second dark side to confidence, the dark side of the dark side, if you like. And that's a belief in the importance of confidence, that its relationship to life is like the relationship of Math 10 to Math 11. It is a prerequisite. You need it, and you need it before you do things. But think about how confidence comes about. How do you know with great confidence that you can change the oil in your car? You might get there by believing that you're a genius who can do anything. But that's probably not true. That's the con job side of confidence. I have all the skills and talents to do anything I want to do. The kind of shallow, false self-affirmations that were all the rage in the 1980s and that still appear now and then, like a bad case of some disease that keeps recurring. The main way we'd have confidence in our ability to change the oil in our car is because we've done it before, several times, and it seems to have worked out. And this is the fundamental truth of confidence. We develop it after we've done something, not before. Confidence is the result of performance. It is not a prerequisite for performance. Look, if you were to sit down and make a list of all the things that you're confident you can do, I think you'd find that the vast majority of them are things you've already done. That's how you know. And if you were to think back to the first time you did them, you probably weren't entirely confident that things were going to go well. Do an experiment with me. Think back. The first time you got behind the wheel of a car, how did you feel? The first time you went on a long hike. The first time you walked into that new school. The first time you got up to speak in front of an audience. The first time you roasted a chicken. The first time you went to a job interview. The first time you had sex. The first time you took transit in a new city. The first time you traveled without your family. For the things you've actually done on that list and others, either you weren't confident because you hadn't done them before, or you were confident, and in retrospect, you shouldn't have been because you didn't know what you were doing. Well, okay, fine. What's the problem? The problem is believing you have to feel confident before you do something puts a barrier in front of every single thing that will grow your life. Should I go here? Well, I'm not really feeling it. Can I do that? Well, I'm not really sure. So sit back and wait for your confidence to show up. Odds are it never will, and you will never do anything new. Psychologists see a lot of people who, through no fault of their own, have heard this idea that confidence is really important. They've heard it over and over and over again. And when your culture builds that into you, you might not ever get around to really looking at it and asking yourself, wait, is that true? Is confidence important? Do I need it? We only feel confident about things that are inside our comfort zone. Eventually, the new things we do become familiar. We develop confidence in them, and they become a part of our expanded comfort zone. You can only grow a comfort zone by leaving it. In my practice, I see a lot of young adults managing the transition from adolescence to independent adulthood. In adolescence, your life is mostly in other people's hands. They pay for the accommodation, they buy the food, they provide the furniture, they decide what's allowed and what isn't, and they build this cocoon of safety around the young person. In adulthood, we do most of that for ourselves. And that involves learning a vast number of new skills and getting familiar with a hugely expanded range of situations. One of the main sticking points holding young adults back is this belief in the importance of comfort and confidence. In order for me to do that, I need to know I can do it. I need to feel comfortable and confident with it. There's a metaphor I keep going back to. Imagine someone who has never been in a swimming pool in their life, never been in the water, and they look at the pool and they say, before I get in that pool, I need to feel really confident about being in the pool. What would you say to them? If you're me, you'd say, you're never going to swim in your life. That confidence is never going to appear until after you've been in the pool. No one has it to start with. The only way to get confident about being in a swimming pool is to get in a swimming pool and muck about a bit. And eventually the confidence appears. Cognitive therapy is all about finding the bad wiring in our thinking. One of the worst bits is a tiny transposition between two words. We get wired by our culture to think confidence, action. It's a mistake. It's something our culture stuffs into us, something that ill-informed mental wellness tells us. Confidence, action. That is a door slamming shut on your life. The words are in the wrong order. Action, confidence. Do, then feel. Not feel, then do. Do, then feel. A lot of people don't like that fluttery, anxious, uncertain feeling they get when they're trying something new. And there's a reason They don't like it. They've been told it's dangerous, that it means there's something wrong. Well, look, you still have to use your judgment. If you're diving off a rock, it's best to check how deep the water is first. But that fluttery, unconfident feeling is what it always feels like to be doing something new. It's not the feeling of danger. It's the feeling of your life growing. It's not the feeling to avoid. It's the feeling to look for. It's the feeling to pursue. Confidence is irrelevant. It'll come, but only afterwards. It is the late arrival to the party. Thanks for watching. There are other videos on this channel on the psychology of everyday life. Click the subscribe button for more. I also have an online course site, psychologysalon.teachable.com, with programs for professionals and for the general public. And my books, The Assertiveness Workbook, How to Be Miserable, 40 Strategies You Already Use, and How to Be Miserable in Your 20s, are available from online booksellers. Thanks for watching.